Warning: this video contains discussion of human trafficking, sexual exploitation, and child abuse. While not graphic, this content may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
A child's laughter, a woman's smile, a shared moment caught on camera. Simple moments that remind us what it means to be human. But somewhere in the noise of clicks and views, those same images, those same faces have been twisted into something darker.
Now, this might be the biggest scandal you haven't heard about. Pornhub featuring the sexual exploitation of children and other disturbing and disgusting content.
Content depicts rape, child porn, and also revenge porn.
Pornhub is blatantly enabling and profiting from rape, sexual abuse, and child sex trafficking.
So many people who know what Pornhub is, they'll just think it's a place where pornography is aggregated. But in your view, there's clear evidence there effectively it's a company involved in trafficking.
Some were raped as children, others were trafficked. All claim explicit content of them was posted on online porn sites without their permission and without any verification checks.
My dad was such an important part of my life. He was a general surgeon. He grew up in the midst of civil war in Amman, Jordan, so he was very sensitive to human rights issues, justice issues, the atrocities that can be produced in this universal power struggle. One afternoon, he had called me into the living room to watch a documentary about child sex trafficking in Calcutta, India. And it was the first time I'd ever heard about modern slavery or human trafficking. It was so shocking to me. Immediately, I knew it was something that I wanted to engage in, I wanted to learn more about. I ended up doing my graduate degree at the University of Southern California, focused on public diplomacy and communications. And every chance I had, I was focused on studying, writing about, investigating the issue of sex trafficking. I began to notice some very disturbing news stories popping up in the headlines, and one in particular really arrested my attention. And it was about a 15-year-old girl from Broward County, Florida, who was missing for an entire year, and she was finally found when her distraught mother was tipped off by a Pornhub user that he recognized her daughter on the site being raped and trafficked for profit, and she was impregnated, and police were actually able to rescue her because they matched surveillance footage from a 7-Eleven to the rapist's face in the videos on Pornhub. At the same time, the London Sunday Times had produced an investigation and they released it. And they found dozens of illegal videos on Pornhub within minutes, even children as young as 3 years old. I was up late one night and I was thinking about the story of that 15-year-old girl. I had an idea. I'm gonna actually test the upload system for myself and find out what it takes to upload to Pornhub. And I found out what millions of people already knew, and that was that all it took to upload to Pornhub was an email address. That in under 10 minutes, anybody in the entire world could upload a video to that site, and they were not checking ID to make sure that these aren't children in the videos. They were not checking consent to make sure these aren't rape or trafficking victims. And it was in that moment I understood that Pornhub was actually infested with videos of real sexual crime, and that Pornhub was not a porn site, it was actually a crime scene.
Laila Mickelwait is one such warrior. She is the founder and CEO of the Justice Defense Fund.
The Justice Defense Fund?
Justice Defense Fund.
Justice Defense Fund helps facilitate and support civil litigation, empowering impact investors to use their donor-advised funds to invest in impact strategic civil litigation to help these survivors go toe-to-toe with these corporate abusers and be represented by some of the best attorneys in the United States. actually grow their donor advised funds that way so they can do more good work, invest more in the fight against trafficking, and that way have a really meaningful impact. I took to Twitter. I shared, this horrific realization of what I had uncovered. And in a burst of inspiration, I shared the hashtag Traffickinghub. And the reason, per national and international definition, anybody who's used in a commercial sex act that was induced by force, fraud, or coercion is a victim of sex trafficking. And so what makes it trafficking versus rape is the commercialization, is the monetization. Free porn is not free. It is heavily monetized. And they were selling 4.6 billion ad impressions every day. So I shared that on social media. It started to take off with my followers. And then I decided I had to get this out farther than just social media. I wrote an article that was released in the Washington Examiner called "It's Time to Shut Down Pornhub." And it really took hold of a lot of people. It started to go viral, and Traffickinghub petition was launched. Thousands of people per day were signing. We were able to engage Nick Kristof from the New York Times, who's a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
A knockout punch to the porn industry as New York Times writer Nicholas Kristof exposes millions of videos of women and girls being drugged and raped, and racist and misogynist content, all posted on Pornhub.
He ended the article by saying that Pornhub is Jeffrey Epstein times 1,000. He also strategically called out the credit card companies. Without the credit card companies, Pornhub doesn't have profitable online business. And in that moment, the pressure was on. Bill Ackman, he's a billionaire hedge fund manager, and he was incensed at reading the article. He reached out and we engaged him in the fight, and he actually knew the CEO of MasterCard, and so he was able to put pressure directly on the CEO of MasterCard. And within days, Visa, MasterCard, and Discover joined PayPal in cutting off Pornhub. And in a panic, they did the unthinkable.
Yesterday, Pornhub purged all unverified content. They found out that there was all kinds of sketchy stuff happening tied in to Pornhub.
Pornhub has removed millions of videos after backlash over abusive, illegal content, which was often uploaded by unverified users.
Pornhub removes millions of videos after investigation finds child abuse content.
In an attempt to woo back the credit card companies, they deleted over 10 million videos, 80% of the entire website, in what Financial Times has called. Victims were calling and they were just overwhelmed with emotion. Finally, for the first time, they had their rape videos off of Pornhub. But that moment of elation was followed by major disappointment. The credit card companies quietly snuck back to Pornhub to continue monetizing the videos through ads.
Welcome back to Squawk Box this morning. One of the biggest stories in the world of business, a U.S. District Court judge denying Visa's request to be removed from a lawsuit that also targets Pornhub and its owner, a company called MindGeek. It stems from a court case brought by a woman who was forced to watch sexually explicit videos of herself be distributed online when she was underage. The judge in the case says, quote, Visa is being kept in this case because it is alleged to have continued to recognize as a merchant an immense, well-known, and highly visible business that it knew used its websites to host and monetize child porn.
The company, despite being entirely aware that there's child pornography on these sites, and it's littered with child pornography, they continue to provide payment services until the Kristof article, and then they shut down the sites overnight, which would have bankrupted them, and then within a matter of weeks, they reauthorized the merchants and they started accepting payments again, and the crime continues.
But Visa persists, and they have persisted. They have refused to disengage from this company, essentially, as the judge said, continuing to give them the tools through which they complete their crimes of child trafficking and the distribution and monetization of child pornography.
Bill Ackman, he got him and I on Squawk Box. For 17 minutes, we were able to call out Al Kelly, the CEO of Visa, by name and really shame him publicly. And it produced enough pressure. It was the strategic impact litigation coupled with the public pressure that forced Al Kelly to make a personal statement, and he said,
in a page-long statement on Thursday, Visa chairman and CEO Al Kelly saying Visa is now suspending card acceptance privileges on the advertising arm of MindGeek. Quote, Visa cards will not be able to be used to purchase advertising on any sites, including Pornhub or other MindGeek-affiliated sites. Kelly also said Visa, quote, suspended sites that contained user-generated content in December 2020, and acceptance on those sites has not been reinstated. And MasterCard also taking action within 10 minutes of Visa publishing their statement. MasterCard saying, quote, new facts from last week's court ruling made us aware of advertising revenue outside of our view that appears to provide Pornhub with indirect funding. All following that ruling on Friday by a district judge denying Visa's motion to be removed from a lawsuit facing MindGeek over child pornography on its site.
So oftentimes when we think about solving the world's greatest problems, we think about new resources and new things and new capital that needs to be brought to the fight. And I think oftentimes we miss that it's not necessarily always the flow of new money that's needed, but it's the disruption of dark money. And when we see Laila's story, that's so much about what it is. It's disrupting the flow of dark money and things that were going to propel some of these terrible things happening in society.
That's the beauty of collective impact. That's the beauty of community. Journalists and attorneys and businessmen and lawmakers and activists and survivors all coming together, but we didn't stop, we didn't relent, we kept on keeping on to take on behemoths of abuse, to take on giants of injustice.
The social media platform Instagram responded to public pressure over a popular porn site. It recently removed the Pornhub account from its platform.
More than 30 women have filed a lawsuit against Pornhub. The women are accusing the adult website of running a, quote, criminal enterprise and exploiting them for profit.
So from every single angle, Pornhub is being exposed, is being held accountable. Over the summer, their CEO and COO were forced to resign. There was mass layoffs at the company.
And it's also facing scrutiny from the US and Canadian governments. So it does appear to be taking the issue pretty seriously.
Now, they had 56 million pieces of content on Pornhub at the end of 2020. Today, they have been forced to take down 91% of the entire site. They went from 56 million pieces of content in 2020 to 5.2 million pieces of content today.
The Pornhub is down, man, yeah. Suspend site in Texas due to state age verification.
A new Arizona law that blocks minors from accessing pornography online.
Yeah, and Pornhub is yanking access to their site in Florida because of it.
That age verification for porn site access was one of the most watched First Amendment cases in recent years.
We are going to shut down Pornhub, and we are going to hold its executives accountable for aiding trafficking.